Hello and welcome to the Calculator Review, hosted on Caliquin.com. Today is day 22 of Calculatober, and I've prepared something a little bit different for how this video is going to start, so I hope you enjoy. So this is the Victor adding machine. Victor's been around for well over 100 years. They started producing electronic and other calculating devices in the 1930s, and their first portable version of an adding machine was released in 1940. This one in particular came out in around 1949, and it was built in Chicago. And well, we'll take a quick look at it before I get into how it works. So I found this at a garage sale for $15, and this is actually one of the first big calculators that I ever purchased. I was really excited to find it, and this was long before, or shortly before, I decided to start doing calculator reviews. So this calculator played a pretty big role in this thing that I'm doing. So here's the calculator taken apart. It's got a lot of parts, and I haven't taken it apart any further than this. And all I've done is remove this big plastic shell, and I just gave it a nice wipe down, blasted it with some air to get rid of all the dust inside, or as much as I could. But here you can see a little bit of what's going on. I don't want to take this thing any further apart because I don't want to attempt to figure out how to put it back together, though there are probably guides online. But it just seems like a huge mess, and not something I really want to get into doing. This thing already works flawlessly, so I see no reason to mess with the internals. So, actually for the operation, I'm going to leave that off because it's pretty cool to watch it in action. So, just a quick example of what this thing does. We'll do 88, and then that saves it, or places it into the total or whatever. And then 145, and then to add, or to get the total of all these numbers, all this thing can do is add. As I'm pulling down on the lever, I press down this T button, and let it back up, and it gives me the answer of 233. I'll change the camera angle so that this shows a little bit better. And there's a couple other neat features I would like to show. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly reset it. We're back at 0. Okay, now I'm going to change the camera angle so that this will be better. Okay, so here's the basic operation of this calculator. I'm going to clear out everything that's on here, so I'm going to press 0. Hold down the total button, and hold it down again, just to make sure that the total is in fact at 0. So we're not going to need that anymore. So this calculator is only capable of addition. It could also do multiplication if you just keep doing the same things over and over. So if I wanted to figure out what 5 squared was, 5, I would just keep doing this 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, now that I've added 5 together 5 times, go down. Nope. There we go. I now have 25. And I apologize if it's not really easy to see, but that works. But it can do a little more complex stuff than that. So since I've done the total, it's now back to 0. So I want to do some large numbers. So let's go ahead and do 984 plus 8,627. Though it's actually 86.27 because the decimal is right here. This doesn't show up on camera, but let's add another number, 99999. So there's a little dial in here that's very difficult to see. It probably doesn't show up well on camera. That shows what digit you're currently on. So right now I know that all the 9s that I put in, it's been 99999. And so that's in the thingy as well, that registry, I guess. Another large number, and we'll go with a couple other small numbers, 20 and 97, 5. So I now have all these numbers, and what it's been doing as this has been going is adding them all together and keeping them in the registry. So now I'm going to find out what the total of all of this is, and it's let's see, 198,823. It's incredible how fast this thing works. Oh, so what this does right here is if I make a mistake in one of the numbers I put, or if I just want to clear out what I have in here, I just pull this and this resets the current value that's going in. So now it's going to be 0 or nothing. So now that I've done that big calculation, I'm just going to double check to make sure everything's clear. We're back at 0. And I want to go back to multiplication. So let's say I want to multiply 7 times 3. So I would press 7. And I could do like I did with the with squaring, but in this case I'm going to make it a little bit easier on myself and hold down this R. And what this allows me to do is put 7 in multiple times, I think. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, so I think the 7 has to be down the whole time. So do 7, and then we're doing what times 3? So 1, 2, 3. I now count it 3 times. And I guess I turned that off. Okay, well this did 7 times 4. I guess I was supposed to flip switches. This thing's not very intuitive. There's not a whole lot of information online on how to use it, so forgive me for the mistakes I make. But yeah, so it's the basic adding functionality is very simple. It's just when you start messing with the repeat that things get locked in place and it's hard to discern why. So we'll flip this thing over, and oh yeah, the handle just kind of comes off. Not a big deal. So this doesn't really show up on camera, but there's a little bit of information that helped give me some insight into where this calculator came from and when it came from. There's a serial number 657128, and I was able to find a chart that lists every Victor adding machine, what year they were produced based on the serial number. So I found out that this one came out between the years of 1949 and 1950. It also says made or protected in the USA by foreign patents, made by Victor Adding Machine Co. in Chicago of USA. So this is a USA built device, and just want to show just how nice this thing looks on the inside. I mean, I really wish I could get this panel off, but this button doesn't like working well with me. Yeah, for some reason this just doesn't come out, so I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, this thing is very fun to play with. The numbers just feel fantastic. And actually, I wonder what that inputted. I hit multiple keys at the same time, so I want to see what happens. Yeah, nothing. So it looks like it only adds the lowest number that's inputted at a time. So I bet if I hit all of these 0, I'll get all zeros. Yeah, kind of neat. And we'll go ahead and... Oh, I forgot about the S up here. So while this does the total and adds everything together and then clears out the registry, you can do subtotal. So what that does is it gives you the current total without actually deleting what's in the total, so you can continue your calculation and kind of keep track of where you are. So if I want to add a couple more things, 587, 824, and decide, okay, that's what I want for my numbers, now I can do the full total and reset the registry. So it's a very, very cool device, and I'm still amazed that I managed to find this for only 15 bucks at a yard sale. This is the paper that actually came with it, and it's very, very brittle. It tears easily. I'm guessing this paper is extremely old. It's very browned. Yeah, it's almost kind of sacrilege to be using it up like this, but it's paper. I don't think paper really goes up in value over years, especially as it gets worse. But yeah, this is not the only Victor calculator I have, though, and this company's still in business, which is amazing. They're still producing calculators, and they've also produced different mechanical calculators like this, some that were in fact electronic, and this is what's known as a 10-digit or 10-button calculator because it has 10 buttons, but the calculators that came before this had one row of buttons for every digit, so it'd be 1 to 9 here, or 0 to 9 here, 0 to 9 here, and so on. So you would just type in the numbers like that. So this was actually really unique for its time, for only having 10 buttons and being relatively easy to use. So that's it for this review. I hope the changes that I made, or the little differences, were nice. I had a lot of fun making this review, and I've been looking forward to reviewing this calculator for a long time. Like I said, this is one of the oldest ones in my collection, not just in the fact that it was built in 1949, but also I've had it longer than most other calculators in my collection. And I just hadn't got around to reviewing it until now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye!